Hello book babes, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Jess. If you are new here, this is my cozy little corner of the internet where I get to yap about all things books. And today I thought that it could be really fun if we went over some of my 6-star reads, which obviously just means these are my favorite books of all time. These are the books that changed me as a reader. These are the books that I cannot stop thinking about, that I want to literally go back to every single day. And it's just kind of rare to come across those kinds of books, I think. Not enough people talk about the 6-star book Hangover. Excuse my stumbling of words. The 6-star book Hangover. It's real, okay? It's legit real. When you finish a book like that, how do you go on? How do you move on to the next thing? It's super, super difficult. I feel like we don't talk about that enough. So anyways, I thought that it would be kind of cool for you guys to get to know my taste a little bit more if we kind of quickly went through my 6-star reads. So let's start from the top. Let's start with one that I discovered this year, and that is The Poet Empress. I absolutely loved this book. So beautiful. I could not believe that it was an author debut. Can we just have a moment? Can we just have a moment for Shentao and how absolutely incredible her debut was? Not only is this book just gorgeous, but the story behind it is just so breathtaking, and it is not a love story. I can tell you that right now. It's just beautiful world building. What an incredible fantasy. I cannot recommend this book enough, and I'm so happy that I discovered it this year. So The Poet Empress is definitely a 6-star read, and I cannot wait to read it again in the future. Okay, up next, we have Empire of the Vampire. This entire trilogy has my heart. Gabriel has my heart. Dior, the whole freaking crew in these books, just absolutely amazing. So many twists. I thought it was such a unique take on vampires. Jay Kristoff is just an incredible writer and an incredible storyteller, and his books just always hit. Nevernight is another one that I loved. I wouldn't say it was a 6-star read, but I loved the Nevernight trilogy also. But Empire of the Vampire, this whole trilogy still lives rent-free in my brain, and I cannot wait to read these again someday also. I just absolutely love these books. So if you have not picked these up yet, you are missing out, and you have homework to do. So get on it. Up next, no surprise to anybody, The Poppy War. This book, literally changed me. This book literally rewired my chemistry. And it's actually based on some true events that happened in the Second Sino-Japanese War. And knowing that just makes it hit even harder. Obviously, it's full fantasy book. There's magic and all kinds of other, things going on. But some of the actual events that occurred in this book really did happen. And it's dark, it's brutal, it's graphic. It will really, wrench your heart out if you let it. But I think it's so important, especially in this current era that we're living in, to read a book like this, because the thing about war is it's kind of always the same. War is always devastating. War is always tragic. War is always causing, awful things to happen, and it's just a horrible thing that humans do, and it should be read about, and it should be observed, and it should be understood that there are people suffering in this world because of war. And I think just reading a book like this is just a very, very important thing to do in our current timeline and just as human beings, so that we actually understand the impacts that can have on us as humans. So if you haven't read The Poppy War yet, 10 out of 10. This book will stay with me forever. The whole series is just perfect. I loved it. And while we're on the topic of books that have absolutely changed me and rewired my brain chemistry, these two here, Blood Over Brighthaven and The Sword of Kagan. ML Wang is now an auto-buy author because these two books just absolutely killed me in the best way. Devastating, emotional, beautiful, the world building, immaculate. Sword of Kagan, I absolutely loved the mother-son dynamic and how separate and different their lives were and how they were expected to live. Just absolutely amazing. And oh my gosh, the feminine rage in Sword of Kagan, so good. I can't get over these. I literally love both of these books so much. Blood Over Brighthaven, top read of 2026 maybe? Top 3 for sure. Just it blew me away. So Emma Wang is like an auto-buy author for me now, and I cannot wait to read more by her. I'm just like foaming at the mouth to get more releases. So these two are easily 6-star reads for me. I absolutely love them. Beautiful books if you haven't picked them up yet and you like fantasy and you want to be destroyed and have your thoughts on humanity changed. Pick these babies up for sure. Okay, let's take a break from fantasy talk and get into like my basic bitch mode. I love a cute little rom-com. I love a cozy little romance. And B.K. Borison never misses. I don't have the Love Light Farm books on my shelf, which is very surprising to me, but I absolutely adored those. And I do have these. I have Good Spirits, and I have And Now Back to You, and First Time Caller. I loved all of these. I love any B.K. Borison book. She just knows how to write a cute romance, and they just really hit for me. And I love them. I think that they're so freaking cute and cozy and just gives me all the feels after I read them. I think her characters are so well done. I think that she's so good. She's so good at writing romance, and I will never sleep on a B.K. Borison book. I haven't found one yet that I haven't just ate up and loved and thought it was so cute. So these little guys are definitely 6-star reads for me, and pretty much any B.K. Borison book actually at this point. And yes, the same goes for Emily Henry. I'm sorry. I love Emily Henry. I love her books. Beach Read's probably my favorite, but I love all of her books. I've not met an Emily Henry book that I haven't loved. Basic, I know, I can't help it. I just love her writing, and I think that the reason that these authors are so popular is because they have the ability to connect with so many of us, and they just write such beautiful romances and great characters, and yeah, I love Beach Read. I think that this is just such a great book, and again, I'll never sleep on an Emily Henry book, so I love her writing. I love her characters. They make me emotional. I get emo just thinking about them, and I can't wait to read more of her books, and I love that she's getting movie adaptations, and yeah, I think she deserves it, and she's just a great author, and she seems like a great person, so that makes it even better. So yeah, we love Emily Henry over here. Up next, and not to be slept on, is the Plated Prisoner series. I love this series so much. This series has my heart. I think that these books are incredible. I think Raven Kennedy is so slept on. She has done such an amazing job with this story. A lot of people don't go past Guild, which is criminal, because it is setting the scene for the most incredible journey and the things that Oren, the FMC, has to go through, and the changes that she makes, and her personality. Like, book 1 Oren to book 6 are just not the same person, okay? Let me tell you. It's a journey, and I think that Raven Kennedy's writing just improves so much from book 1 to the last book. It's actually really cool to watch, and she kind of changes more from like a romantasy vibe to a little bit of epic fantasy, and I think that people don't talk about that enough, but like she does a really, really stellar job. In book 5, the MMC and the FMC are not even together the entire book, and that pissed off so many people. I loved it. I thought that it was awesome because they were on their own separate growth journeys and then came together again, and it was just such a good moment and so slept on, and I just love this series. If you haven't read the Plated Prisoner series yet, this whole series has my heart. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Even though there were times I wanted to shake the shit out of Oren. Okay, I get it. But her character development, her growth, and all of the things, just chef's kiss. So way to go, Raven Kennedy. I cannot wait to read more of your books. New releases by her coming soon, so that's super exciting as well. Okay, up next, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. It may surprise some people to know that I have not finished the series yet. I still have to read Wind and Truth. I'm working up the nerve to actually dive into it because it is massive, as all of these books are in this series. And while I love the entire series as a whole, none of them hit for me the way Way of Kings did. This book was probably my first big introduction into the epic fantasy world, and I can't even tell you how I felt about it. I loved this book so much. It's still my favorite in the series. Maybe that's a controversial take. I don't know. And like I said, I haven't finished it yet. I have to read Wind and Truth. I know I will get there. I promise. I actually kind of really want to do a reread of this series at some point, so I'm saving it, I think, for that when I'm ready to actually like dive back into these mammoth books. But I loved Way of Kings. I love the Bridge Boys. I love the development of this story and the development of this world. And I just thought that this was such an incredible epic fantasy book. And it still lives rent-free in my brain. So I will eventually finish the series. I know that there's more books coming out. And it's kind of up in the air as to whether we're going to get more like with these characters or it's going to be new characters. I know that there's a lot of, conversation about that happening, and we're gonna get maybe a movie or a TV series of these books and Mistborn. I have to read a lot more Brandon Sanderson. I've barely scratched the surface of his catalog, but I'm really thankful for this book because it was my first big introduction into epic fantasy, and it didn't disappoint. I absolutely love Way of Kings, and I will forever have a special place in my heart for this book. Another favorite author of mine that is not to be slept on is Sarah A. Parker. We have When the Moon Hatched and To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, both 6-star reads for me yet again. To Bleed a Crystal Bloom is not a complete series, so we're waiting on some more books from that, but the first 3 that are out, I absolutely love them. Maybe that's a controversial take because I feel like these are hit or miss for people, but something about Sarah Parker's writing, it's just so lyrical, and I love her prose, and I love the settings that she has, and I love the characters that she creates, and I just think that she does such a great job with like her world building, and I love the way that she writes. When the Moon Hatched, very similar. I have not finished Ballad yet. I have to finish that one. I know we're waiting on a 3rd book for this series as well, so I don't know what I'm waiting for. I think maybe I just don't want to finish it and I just want the next book to come out, something like that. I don't know, but these were both 6-star reads from me for sure. I absolutely love them. I love Sarah Parker, huge fan of hers. Can't wait for more in both of these series, so 6 stars. Once again, I'm so sorry if this makes me basic, but A Court of Mist and Fury, 6 freaking stars. When I first read this book, I was blown away. And yes, there are many other romantasy, fantasy books out there that are better. You could say that, whatever. This series is really, really special to me. This series got me back into reading, as I feel like it has for many of us. I feel like that is a very millennial experience for many, many of us, especially around like the COVID time when we weren't reading, and these books brought us back. So, just kicked my stand, but that's fine. These books brought us back into reading, and it definitely did that for me, and I will forever be thankful for this series. And say what you want about it, say what you want about the author, all of the things. I get it, I hear you, but it doesn't change the fact that these books were so important to me, and they still hold a very special place in my heart, and I definitely will be continuing the series. So maybe you like that, maybe you don't, but whatever. It's my reading journey, not yours. So I'm definitely going to be continuing this series, and this book, I loved it. And to cap it off, because I don't want to make this video too obnoxiously long, we are going to end it with An Ember in the Ashes. Another 6-star series for me. I absolutely love these books. I really need to read more from this author. I've only read the 4 books in this series, but I love her world building. I love her characters. She puts her characters through it, let me tell you. No shortage of emotional devastation in these books. I was just like, oh my gosh, once you think one character has like kind of gotten through something awful, somebody goes through something awful again. She does not play. She does not play. She puts her characters through the ringer. So if you like some emotional devastation in your fantasy books, these are YA technically, but they're just so good, and they're just wow. Like I was blown away by these books. I need to do a reread, and I need to read more from this author. So this whole series was also a 6-star read for me, and that's gonna be it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got a little bit more of an idea of my tastes, and maybe we have some reads in common, maybe we don't, I don't know, but I would love to hear from you and what some of your 6-star reads are. And if we have any in common, that would be super cool. And I know that there's probably more that I've missed, but this is just a good general idea of where I sit and what I like. And I cannot wait to read more stories, and we're always chasing that high. We're always chasing that 6-star read high. So fingers crossed that there's more of that in the future for all of us. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Bye.